us tonight too, so thanks Karen for joining us. I'm going to give a quick kind of intro presentation, probably about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and then Karen's going to join me and we'll open it up for anybody who wants to talk about anything. But the theme today is the intro to the Austin startup scene, and so we do a lot of different talks like this, and I'll talk about how some of those work. But first, let's get a sense of who's here. So who went on the tour today? Awesome, most of you, great. Anyone here already a CF member? No? All right. Who's been to Southside before? Half of you. Anybody go to UT? Awesome.
Well, in a way I did, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. Anybody recently moved here?
Welcome.
Awesome. Anybody born here?
Woo!
Fewer and fewer of you.
Hopefully we're giving birth to a new generation. So.
I have kids that were born here. Anybody here looking for a job? Yeah? What do you do?
I work for Insights. That was at a company called Cloudera.
Cool.
About a block over.
One of our mentors founded Cloudera. But so you're looking for another inside sales type role?
Nope.
No, what are you looking for? Sorry.
Looking just to get out of sales and stay in tech.
Something new. All right.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you looking for?
I'm in finance right now, and I've raised money in the past.
What are you looking for?
Investors.
What kind of
venture associate?
You're interested. Okay, you're interested in working here. Okay, that's even better. And then anybody looking for investors? Okay, awesome. This is a start. This is not the focus of this one.
And who has had employees work at this place?
Yeah, all right.
Not presently before.
Cool. Anybody founder of a startup? Awesome. All right, that's all my questions. Usually when people come here, it's because they want to meet somebody, because they're trying to connect to different people. So you can maybe just go around. Yeah, this is not not a huge room. Like, who do you want to meet? Like, some of you have said some of them, but like, what kind of people do you need to connect with?
I would like to meet with other investors who are more seasoned and have worked with various startups at various stages.
Investors.
Investors and also other CEOs who are struggling with the same problems I am.
Investors, other CEOs.
So I'm looking for pretty much anyone who is self-employed, so I can help them with benefits and
Okay. Your benefits provider.
Like a mentor type of thing and somebody in the software area.
Looking for people that have been through it before that can help you?
Yeah, for like starting startups basically.
Yeah.
I'm learning about the space so that I can be more helpful to my clients that are looking for digital advertising solutions that want to spend like around $10,000 plus per month.
Cool. You said you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm looking for employers, but also I think the Austin startup culture is very interesting, and being able to network and understand and meet people in that space make it a lot easier to learn more about it and be involved in it.
My name is Joe Lack, and I'm looking for Android developers and biz dev smart people who want to help me use my patented system to finally replace the keyboard, make the keyboard obsolete.
Awesome. Cool. Specific ask.
I'm looking for startup founders in tech space and ideally co-founder for future projects.
Good. Good place to find co-founders.
I'm actually a senior about to graduate at UT, and I'm looking for something more related to investing, learning how to invest. I have a small company here in Austin, but I also work a lot, and I'd really like to get into the field of exploiting my ability to spot potential talent and grow it.
Awesome.
Provide an exit opportunity.
Looking for fundraising and learning more about that process, and looking for a network to help with that, and also other tech companies and potential integrations and partnerships for my company.
So I'm Matt, and I'm looking for mentorship, first and foremost. Secondly, I just started a digital product consultancy, so I'm looking for anybody that might need some of my services, startups that might want to collaborate, as well as other agencies that are looking for some help with some strategy.
Cool, thanks. Karen, you looking for anybody?
I'm Karen Bantuveris. I'm a mentor here and the CEO of Sign Up. I just like coming to see what you guys all need and think about who I can make connections to. I'm a hyper connector, so thank you.
Great, thanks. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to go over a little bit of why we're so excited about Texas and Austin and being here, and my Austin history lesson of how Austin became a startup hub. I'll talk a little bit about Capital Factory and what we do here, not that much, but a little bit of what I think makes it different from other places. And kind of the other really, like, we can't cover everything, but what were the really key things you have to know about if you're here in the startup scene, which I would say are UT Austin, South by Southwest, the new Army Futures Command, and then Karen and I will get up and talk about whatever you guys want. So what we won't talk about is fundraising, although there's lots of people coming here looking for fundraising. I think we heard that a lot. Is this the second Tuesday of the month?
Yes.
I guess. Did my math right? It's close. It's the 14th. It's either the second or the almost third. So this is the second Tuesday of the month, which is Intro to the Austin Startup Scene. Last week, the first Tuesday of the month, is the fundraising AMA. So that's specifically about fundraising. And Karen is an entrepreneur and a mentor here and big part of the community. So she's a great guest for this tonight. The fundraising one, the guest is always a venture capitalist. It's like a different VC in town every week, so every month. And so, in addition to being able to ask questions about fundraising and things like that, there's always a different VC here that you can not only ask questions of, but try to corner before they leave and talk to them. We always have a happy hour after it. This is this morning, or today we had a mentoring session. This is the Intro to the Austin Startup Scene. Next week, we're on schedule this month, but third Tuesday of the month is usually road trip day when we pack up a bus full of people from here. We go to Dallas or Houston or San Antonio or somewhere else around the state. There's also Founder Stories, which is one of the mentors coming here and telling their story, which is always interesting. And then fourth Tuesday is Open Pitch Pizza, and that's where anybody who can come and basically practice their pitch and get feedback. So every Tuesday there's different things going on here that you can come plug into. One of the best things that happens here is a program one of my partners teaches called Founders Academy. He does it about once a quarter, and this is taught by Gordon Doherty, and Gordon's awesome. And he has done everything. He's been the founder and a CEO and been at big companies. He knows a lot about sales. He knows a lot about fundraising, and he's just he's a great educator, a great teacher. And so he's been doing this for a long time, and people really, really like it. And he has a whole video series that if you go take the class, you get the video series stuff too. So highly recommend that. That's foundersacademy.eventbrite.com. Some other quick things that I'm not going to go over today. This is a good blog post. It's getting kind of old, but still pretty good. I've updated it a couple times, I think, since then, but it's how to plug into the startup scene. It's kind of really basics of go sign up for these email lists, follow these people on Twitter, go to these events, hang out at these places, a bunch of lists of things that you can go see, and that's bit.ly/plug into ATX startup scene. And then also, other things to plug in and just know what's going on. The capitalfactory.com/events is all the things that are happening here every day. There's a bunch of different things happening up here. As you walk out, there's a calendar out there that shows a bunch of the stuff happening this week. And so depending on what you're interested in, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Most of these things are free and open to the public, and anybody can come to. And if you don't see something you're looking for, you can come organize something. You can come do something. And there's an email list every week for that too. Another thing is the Austin Startups blog. This is austinstartups.com, and that's a great place. It's a Medium blog, but it's basically featuring all the Austin entrepreneurs and what they're talking about and writing about. You see what's going on there. And then there's this massive Facebook group with 25,000 people on it, or probably more than that now. It's the Austin Startups Facebook group. That's another what you'd expect from a group with 25,000 people on it, but a good place to post things and get all kinds of feedback. So that's kind of the background stuff. Let's talk about Texas. We talk about Texas a lot lately. We talked about Austin for like 8 or 9 years, and everybody's talking about Austin now. So now we're talking about Texas, because Texas is awesome. Texas is totally kicking ass. Texas has 4 of the largest cities in the country: Austin, Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. They're 4 of the fastest growing cities in the country. They're 4 of the top tech hubs in the country. They're actually all pretty different. Like they all bring really different assets to the table. Austin's kind of stands out for the one that has the most startups and companies here raise the most money, and it probably is the most diverse as far as doing lots of different things. But San Antonio has the largest military base in the country, so lots of military there. There's cybersecurity is a big part of that, so there's a big cybersecurity hub. Dallas is, there's more Fortune 500 companies in Texas, headquartered here, than anywhere but New York State. It's about 50 of them. For an oil and gas or energy company, they're in Houston. There's about 25 of them there, and there's 25 other big companies based in and they're all based in Dallas, and that's Toyota, and Capital One, and American Airlines, and Southwest, and JCPenney, and probably Texas Instruments, and all these other kind of big companies, and lots of companies I've never heard of, and that they're really big. And so, so that's where like all these big companies are. It's where there's sports and entertainment's really big up there. FinTech, telecommunications, retail commerce. I'd say if I was going to put a fine note on it, whereas Austin tends to be more e-commerce and CPG. Houston is really, it's an industrial city. It's robots and pipelines and messy things. It's the oil and gas and energy industry. It's healthcare. The largest medical center in the country is in Houston, the Texas Medical Center. So lots of patients, lots of ways if you're trying to build something in the medical space that you can get it in front of a lot of people. And so there are different things that they all bring to the table. And Austin's kind of like said, kind of in the middle of all that. And so that's part of our whole thesis is that if you're a startup here, you should up till recently, I felt like most people thought of these like they were different countries. It's like, oh, I'm in Austin, like I wouldn't go to Houston or wouldn't go to Dallas. But what we figured out is like you can actually go to any one of those cities just for the day. You don't, I mean, that's a long day, but you can do it. Like you don't have to even get a hotel room, never mind, anything else. And so you've got a lot of different ways to get there. And so if you're a startup here, while a lot of the funding is here in Austin, and there's a lot of talent here in Austin, there's a lot of companies you could be selling to up in Dallas, right? And there's a lot of talent in Dallas and Houston and San Antonio. And if you're trying to reach, if you're expanding geographically, you can have a headquarters in any one of these cities and basically run all 4 cities from like one place. And those are 4 of the 10 largest cities in the country. Like it's like a big market. And so that's some of the really exciting things going on here. And basically it's all, it's just, as long as I've been here, it's been all over the news. These are all in the past year. Money Magazine, Austin, best place to live in the country. Austin, #1 place to start a business in the country from Inc. Magazine. This is Wall Street Journal, where do you go to make the most money? This is, a big release about Apple making a big investment here. They already have like their 2nd largest headquarters based here, and it's continuing to grow, building a new campus. And then most recently, probably the Army Futures Command, which I'll talk about more in a bit. But that's like another Apple or Amazon coming here. So it's a really big deal. And so this is part of a big trend, right? It's getting everywhere that's outside Silicon Valley is growing and getting easier to go do stuff. And Austin's just kind of like the best of all those places that's not Silicon Valley. And so we've been in a really good spot through that. And there's a lot of other things causing that to drive. But the biggest thing driving it is just talent. It's just people. And we've been winning the talent war for a long time, for like 10, 15 years. It takes a long time to build this up, but that's what drives everything else. Everybody has to follow the talent. The reason why all these big companies and Apple and Army Futures Command, the reason they're here is because there's so much talent here, because really educated, smart, entrepreneurial people live here and are moving here and want to live here. And so they have to come here to go find those people. And then the money follows the companies. That's why the money's following too. So how did we get here? How did Austin become a tech hub? Pretty much everybody I talk to comes back to this guy. His name is George Kosmetsky. And is the convention center named after him?
I think so.
No, that's Kraseric. That's a different one. No,
Something.
but anyway, but I'm mixing that one up. But he was the founder of a national computer company called Teledyne in the 80s, which was before my time, but big computer company. very successful as a businessman. He got involved civically here in the city and economic development. He was involved in the university. He helped create the IC² Institute, which also created the Austin Technology Incubator, which is one of the oldest incubators in the country, and did a lot for Austin and for kind of growing this as an innovation ecosystem. This was really, a lot of it was his vision, was to turn this into this kind of tech hub, when it was nothing. And some other people really involved. Unfortunately, George Kosmetsky is no longer with us. Admiral Bobby Inman is. He worked with Kosmetsky and Pike Powers and a lot of other people, Laura Kilcrease, others, to help bring MCC here to Austin. And that building is still there. It doesn't say MCC on it anymore. Now it's called the West Pickle Research Center of UT, but it's up near the Domain. And it's basically, it was this big public-private partnership with the government and industry to try to make the US more competitive with the Japanese during the 80s in semiconductor innovation and development. And that was the arms race back then. And so they did this big thing, and they opened up this big research center, and they moved all these engineers here. And I think, I think IBM might have already been here, or maybe Samsung, but there wasn't a ton. And then that really spurred a lot of other stuff. And now you've seen, that's part of why Austin is, our background is we're like a chip place, right? We have AMD and Motorola, and Apple designs their chips here now. There's a lot of other stuff that, the big kind of chip background here. Dell, obviously, working with all those companies. And this was one of the inflection points. Like, everybody looks back to like that thing happened, and like that's what put Austin on the map. And then like from then forward, Austin like grew as a tech hub. And as again, I'll mention more in a minute when I look at what's happening with the Army Futures Command. Since I've been here, I think that 20 or 30 years from now, we're going to look back on the Army Futures Command coming the way that we look back on MCC coming. Like, oh wow, when that happened, wow, that really changed Austin, and you feel it 20 or 30 years later in a really big way. So this was the next thing that changed Austin. I don't know if we get any sound.
This is the story of the little room over the pizza place at 315 Chestnut Street, the modest first floor bedroom in Tallinn, Estonia, and the dusty basement at 1406 35th Street. It is the story of the old dining room table at 25th and Hoffman Avenue, the southbound bus barreling down I-95, and the second floor above the strip mall at Roble and El Camino.
This magic moment,
It is the story of where every great idea begins,
so different and so new.
where those with endless vision and an equal amount of audaciousness believed they had the power to do more, time and time again. At Dell, we're honored to be part of some of the world's great stories. Stories that began much the same way ours did, in a little dorm room, number 2713.
This magic moment.
So Dell was this big thing that happened to Austin, and it was.
And the dining room table at 25th and Hoffman Avenue.
If that white building wasn't there, you'd see the tower, the UT Tower, where Michael Dell started Dell Computers. And when I moved here in 1999, this was a Dell town. Like that's what it was. People around the country knew Austin as like, oh, that's where Dell is. That's what Austin was to me when I knew it was. And everybody that I knew everyone here worked for Dell. I used to work at Dell. My wife used to work at Dell. I met her through somebody that worked at Dell. And Dell was really another just major thing that made a big imprint on the city. And both Michael Dell did as a philanthropist. You look around and there's the Dell Medical School, and the Dell Children's Hospital, and the Dell the Jewish Community Center, and like there's many things that he's done to our family has done to help really make Austin better. But also you look around at the people, and there's a ton of people that came here to work for Dell, that gained their experience at Dell, that earned their first fortune at Dell, that let them go start another company or become a venture capitalist or do something else. And there's, I'm sure, very few things that have changed the face of Austin as much as Dell has. And some other companies that you may or may not have heard of, but that should be on your radar, not as big as Dell, but some of the biggest companies over the past 10 years that have made a big difference here. HomeAway was a company that was founded here, funded by Austin Ventures, IPO'd, went public, was bought by Expedia for $4 billion, was just renamed to VRBO, which is one of the companies that they already owned and ran. that's definitely one of the biggest Austin success stories in recent history. Indeed.com is another one. Indeed.com is one of the most popular websites on the internet, one of the biggest websites on the internet, one of the best places, one of the most popular places to find a job. Austin never really got credit for it at the beginning. It's pretty obvious to everybody now that Indeed's based here because the CEO is here and like 5,000 employees or something. But the CEO was always here, and they kind of like, back in the day when it was harder to be an Austin company, they had a Connecticut office and they called themselves a New York company. But they were totally based here forever. But Indeed's an awesome company with a lot of great people there, and it's still booming and growing and really big, and it's a major Austin success story. Another one was WP Engine. It's a great company that actually started here at Capital Factory. They raised $250 million last year. I think they're, no inside info to see that they're one of the companies on the next big companies to go public here